Welcome back to the Power and the Glory. Today's scripture is taken from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 29. Before I go any further, please like, share, and subscribe. It does make a huge difference to the Google algorithm. And thank you to my existing subscribers for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. So I'll read the scripture now. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. So this verse indicates that God provides strength to those who are weak, weary, or feel they have no power. Now, the verse does emphasize that God's strength is not for the self-sufficient, but is given to those who rely on Him and Him alone. Let's get into the scripture in more detail now. He gives strength to the weary. So God, we know, is all-powerful, but here God is being compassionate with His people, and He's dispensing strength to where it's needed, to the weary, to the weak, to the exhausted. Now, the verse offers comfort and promise of empowerment during difficult times and increases the power of the weak. That's the next part of the scripture. So this shows that the people don't need to rely on their own strength, which they might have been using, but God is saying, don't do that, rely on me. So the inference here is that this divine power will be permanently available for his people and permanently be renewed each and every day. Now it's important to note that when this was written, the audience for the scripture were in exile and probably felt powerless. So these words were very welcome. The message here is quite clear. It's to provide hope and comfort and power to Isaiah's people when they were feeling weak, weary, and fatigued. But it's also a message for us today. We're all going to be confronted with situations that test, drain, and deplete us. So it's at these times that we're encouraged to look to God rather than to our own strength to make it through. So going through a few more key learnings, the trials of life are going to get us down, exhausted, and depleted us. Let's not try and rely on our own power. Let's revert to God and trust His power to get the job done. Because where our power is limited, His isn't. Going forward, some useful actions are to draw nearer to God. So we've got to break this control we have on everything in our life. Let's hand over our problems to God rather than trying to solve them ourselves, because clearly He's a lot more powerful and has many more resources than we do. So it's about drawing near into God. How do we do this? Well, let's turn down the noise of the day. Let's get away from screen time and spend an hour with God in quality prayer, scripture, and gratitude each morning to refresh us and recharge our batteries. That will bring God closer to us. Let's learn to surrender ownership of our problems and hand them over to God. Our tiredness, our worries, and weakness to God, because He is there with limitless power to help us solve all of those problems.